This is actually filmed on a different day. We're going to continue. We had to change batteries and the day ended. Lots of stuff to do, but we have put the rear brake pedal on. We've put the centre stand on. Do you want to lift the rear end up? No. Centre stand. What we have discovered is that there is no wiring loom stuffed up the back there, but it seems to be under the tank. So we're going to take the tank out. That's a good opportunity to have a look at the quality of the tank, which we didn't do in the unboxing video. Cool, okay. Well, this is the fuel tank, which is pretty interesting. Really nice and shiny. With a little bit of, oh no, not overspray, that was just metal filings. But there's a single exit here, and there is no tap on the bottom, and that's why there's no tap.
No reverse?
No reverse tank.
No reserve tank.
Reserve tank. So, at the moment, this is the wiring loom. We've got a tail out here, we've got the handlebars there, and we've got handlebars here as well. If we go down and follow it underneath, it goes up inside the frame, which is here. And there's a whole bunch of wiring sitting there. The ignition is up on the far side here. And what wiring are we going to stuff down the hole?
That looks to be tail light indicators.
Let it be known that I do think that the indicators and the tail light and everything is a bit big.
They are bendy though. Like if you drop that,
and if
they might survive.
But I just if you're going to comment and be like, "Oh, they suck, you should change them." Why do you think I'm dragging this out for about 4 or 5 episodes? Just wait and see.
Can you?
Yeah.
Figure that hole?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
See me
push. Alright, what a nightmare. Everything was awesome until we started playing with wires, and now it looks like this. And we'll sort it out, but yeah, just a lot of no instructions or any idea if anything is meant to be color-coded. A lot of it seems to be, but we're still left over with extra stuff. It's not uncommon to get a Chinese wiring loom that has extra stuff.
Thing now.
I'm just going to look for a sec. If I have...
Easy when you know how.
Use a hammer every time. Exhaust is going on. Can't show you because you can't see. We'll see how it goes. Interesting stuff we've done. Swing arm's loose because we had to loosen the nut off on the other side to mount the pipe. The motor's in, the top mount electric start. I've got kind of a cable, the power for the electric start jankily going over it up underneath. Reality is we'll probably pull this thing apart and do a whole bunch of stuff again. We just want to get it going. Rear wheel, nothing's been sorted yet. The top mount on the engine is really, really weird.
There? Under the exhaust.
Yeah.
Over the brake pedal, under the exhaust.
Yeah. Alright, moment of truth. We have our foot pegs mounted and our side stand mounted, and we have an exhaust on the other side, and we're about to connect up the battery and see if anything happens when we turn the key. Will it go? Will it explode? No one knows. The battery's probably about to go flat. We'll change it shortly. We've got That's our flasher relay. So the battery that came with this thing was flat. We've got to charge something up and chuck it in here or jump this.
Let's feel off or on. Yeah, indicator's on.
It's happening. Idling.
Doesn't stop.
Cool. Started on the second kick. Idles straight away. Things that work. Front indicators, both left and right. The rear indicators not at all. The tail light not at all. The headlight not at all. The speedo does work, and the neutral light lights up in neutral. I haven't changed the gear because we don't have a gear shifter on yet. The kill switch didn't work, and we haven't tried the electric start because we don't actually have power going through the battery yet, or we don't have a charged battery. These things are kind of plug and play. You can take them out of a box and slam them together and make them work. There is a bit of simplicity to it. For example, putting it into a rolling state was super easy.
Yep.
Yeah, but when you get to the wiring and stuff with no instructions, it's kind of just follow your nose. That's your finest factory grade shipping oil. and it's super thin and not a really good idea to run it long term. We'll drop that oil, put some normal engine oil in, and we'll get this thing out on the footpath, probably not the road, because I don't trust it just yet. Okay, so this is the third time I've filmed this part of the video. This is the assembly, and we've gotten really far, but a lot of it was just super boring, and you know, I'll be the first to admit that this channel's much more for entertainment than it is for technical information. So the wiring was a mission. I had the loom out here. This part had been snaking all the way around the top tube and coming out, and I joined all the wires here, made a mess of it, left it, came back a few days later. Andrew isn't here today because he's busy. The seat's mounted, the tank's bolted in. The speedo is mounted here, the headlights and the indicators are here. The wheels aren't really fixed properly yet, and there is a few things left to do. I've got to Loctite basically the whole bike, attach the brakes properly. No chain on it yet, that needs to be sorted. So yeah, I'm just going to generally get to it. But one thing I will show you. Idling straight out of the box. That is incredible. And I'll leave it going for a little while because I've got to do an oil change as well. Got some Castrol to chuck in the bike, and yeah, it'll be good to go. Not sponsored, but Castrol, feel free. Not warm, my bad. Key's still gross as well. Mirrors, one more thing that I forgot about and I just found. Chuck them on now. And that's contaminated with, you know, other engine oil as well, but it just goes to show how kind of clear the shipping oil is and why you should change it. It's super lightweight. Clip length on the chain, it suspiciously looks the exact length it needs to be. I wonder if it's already been run. Surely not. Okay. Just getting used to the gear shift pattern. It seems to be all down, and that works well. Third, fourth, 4 gears. Speedo's not hooked up properly. It's our first issue. I think because of the tiny carburetor and the way it's geared and the relatively restrictive exhaust and the relatively small air intake as well, which is obviously limited by the intake of the carb. What you're experiencing here is probably about 80 kph, I'd say, top speed. I honestly think the intake noise is louder than the exhaust. But hey, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Alright, let's turn this thing off. Whew! I guess there's a lot of things to say about this bike. First of all, yeah, it's super impressive. I've been really impressed with the condition of this thing, the quality of this thing. The front wheels, you know, the forks do look quite nice. There is a bit of a issue with the front forks though. There's a bit of rippling and kind of crinkling. It's almost like they've been hand hammered into shape, but yeah, I mean, it's okay. I've still got things like this on there, which we can pull off. But generally, just riding this thing around the show, I've been pretty impressed. The rear wheel's pretty impressive and does its job. It seems to be running pretty true. Overall, this thing's pretty good quality. On the left side, you can kind of see as well. It's quite odd how it has appeared like that. I'm not sure how it's happened. The wiring sucks. Now that's me more than anything. Unfortunately, it's kind of all just jammed around the steering tube. I'm literally waiting for me to go around a corner and one of the wires to disconnect in the bike just to shut off. So that's not super ideal, but it is what it is. I will tidy that up. I've probably got to take the front end off again to achieve that, but we'll do that at some point. And the speedo hasn't been working either. That's purely my fault. How's the best way to show it? If I straddle the bike and look straight down, look at the way, and I'll use both cameras here just in case one doesn't capture the right angle. There's the second angle. When you look at that, you can see that the headlight's tilting to the left. compared to the way the wheel's facing, and that's because the two bolt mounts for this top panel here are basically, for lack of better words, on the piss. They are on the left there. They're kind of welded on a little bit of a left angle, and you know, having your light dipping to the left in New Zealand because it's a left-hand drive country is fine, but a bit more than they should be. And also, there were no fixings that would make this work on the original mount, which is that top little mount there. So I've had to drill mounts a little bit lower, which has put the headlight up higher. I've scratched this thing in the process as well because I've had to enlarge in the hole that the cables go through. But I'm going to eventually paint this thing as well, but just full disclosure there. So it might look cool here, but when you go up close, there are a few things that need some improvement. Overall, I'm super happy. The company I've got this off, M-Bike, they're actually the New Zealand importer for SkyTeam, which do Honda copies as it is, and these things here were just kind of a one-off, so I don't know if they'll be getting them back in, and that's about it. I'm going to go ride this thing. It's hot. It's getting into summer. You can probably see I'm starting to fog up. Alright, thanks for watching. I'm going to go for a hoon. Okay, fine.